Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite pieces of jewelry in my collection, and that is the mini Rivale bracelet from Hermes. Now, I know I'm butchering how to say it, but I apologize, you all know my French is pretty much non-existent. But I love this bracelet, and the Rivale line, which in translation to English just means rival. So I feel like someone was in a competitive mood when they designed this bracelet. It's also inspired by the CDC collection. You can see that it's got the quintessential Mador studs there. So it's really classic, very timeless, very Hermes. This was designed by Emile Hermes, in conjunction with the CDC line. So I really like the overall classic look of it. But I think that this is classic without being boring, right? It's a little bit edgy with the studs, with the little loop there. And it's funny because I get a lot of compliments on this bracelet when I wear it out, which is weird because I find it to be a pretty innocuous bracelet, it's very under the radar. But I guess, people notice it because of the studs. And so whenever I go out shopping, those avant-garde, really fashion-y people always working in clothing stores that they usually make you feel super inferior for not being as chic as them. They always compliment me on this bracelet, and not because they're trying to kiss up, it has been when I'm just standing in line waiting to go into Chanel. The Chanel person's oh, I really love your bracelet. So gives me a good little confidence boost when I wear it, just, for what it's worth. But this is the mini version of the bracelet. So the diameter of the bracelet is very thin, which, as you know, I like more delicate jewelry, so I like it. I believe it's 0.27 inches, and I will correct myself if I'm wrong. And then they do also have a thicker version of this bracelet. It's just under ½ an inch in diameter. I think it's 0.47 inches. Again, we'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But this is the mini version of the bracelet. Again, because I just wanted that more delicate look and feel. But the thicker version comes in a lot more variations. So they have that in the double tour style where it wraps around your wrist twice. They have the studded versions. They have exotic versions. I've never seen, either in-store or online, exotic versions of the mini bracelet. I'm sure it does exist, but probably just is a lot less common or gets bought up very quickly when it's there. But I usually see this in a lot of neutral colors, but I've also seen it in blues and pinks. So it does come in fashion colors, but it's just not as common. I also haven't seen the mini version in rose gold, but again, I'm sure it does exist, but I've just seen it in palladium and gold hardware. So just something to keep in mind if you're thinking about buying this. If you want a more specific combination of a bright fashion color with rose gold hardware, it might not exist, or it might be really hard to track down, so you might want to go with the slightly thicker version. But even the thicker version I don't think is super thick. I don't think it's super chunky. So I think either way, you can get a nice, delicate, cool classic bracelet, with whatever version you decide to get. Now, I got this bracelet earlier this year, I believe back in March. And when I got it, I purchased it for $425. Now, unfortunately, Hermes recently did do a little bit of a price increase on a lot of their fashion jewelry and their silks. I'm not sure, the whole breadth of the price increase, but it was not like a Chanel price increase. I think most of the increases were around, 5%, which is actually very fair because ironically on the news this morning, I heard that inflation for this year is supposed to be about a total of 6%. So Hermes is just doing what brands are supposed to do in terms of price increases, and they're just, slowly but surely keeping up with the overall cost of living. They're not trying to take us for all we're worth like Chanel is doing a little bit. So it was $425. Now the bracelet is $450. So if you are thinking about getting it, it is a little bit more expensive, but honestly, I don't think it's cost prohibitive in terms of the difference if you're talking about a $400 bracelet. But it is also good to keep in mind this is fashion jewelry. It's not real jewelry. So, you have to kind of weigh that into the cost benefit analysis on if you want to spend this much money on a fashion bracelet or not. But for me, $400 for a leather bracelet actually does make sense because I think leather lasts forever and ever. So overall, I thought this was, a good value in terms of how I like to spend money. But we might be different, right? In terms of what we like and what we don't like and how we want to spend our cash. I did get this in the T2 size. So I believe this is the second smallest size. It comes in all of their standard bracelet sizes, and it does fit very snug around my wrist. I think it's interesting because I also have the Be Happy Double Tour in a size T2, and also this one does wrap around, but when I wear it on the smallest setting, it does actually feel a little bit big. So if you have like a Be Happy Double Tour, I would say this is tighter than that is, just in terms of like comparison wise. But overall, I really like the bracelet. I do like that it fits snugly, so that way it's not like jingling and jangling around. I don't like when my jewelry makes a ton of sound. And this is in Swift leather. And I'll be honest, I was nervous about getting it in Swift leather. And I remember I also bought, I think it was the same shopping trip, maybe a different shopping trip. Oh no, it was the same shopping trip. I also bought my Hermes Constance belt, and one of the sides is in Swift leather, and I'll link the review for that belt for you. But I was nervous because you hear so much about how Swift leather is so delicate and how it scratches so easily and da 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 da. But like I said in my Constance belt review, this bracelet I think is really hard wearing. It is very durable. I don't see any scratches on the exterior of the leather. Oh wait, actually there is one tiny little one right here. So it did scratch, but I think considering as much as I wear this bracelet, I was expecting it to have a lot of scratches on it, considering how delicate people say the nature of Swift leather is. But honestly, I'm a huge Swift leather fan after owning both this and the belt, because I think it's a really hard wearing leather, and I think it's really beautiful because of its like smooth sheen. And also in terms of wear and tear, just keep in mind, with this being like more like costume jewelry or fashion jewelry, it's not fine jewelry, so you are going to have a little bit more wear on the hardware itself. Like it's not going to stay as lovely and as nice as if it were real gold. You know, it does have like some little like scratches on it, nothing that's so distracting. You know, it hasn't gotten any big ones on it, which is surprising, you know, for as long as I've had it. But, you know, it's not going to stay looking perfect and pristine. So if you're looking for something that's really going to look like brand new forever, I wouldn't say that this is right, because the hardware will show signs of age. But I think a lot of you all know this, especially those of you that have Hermes, especially those of you that have like the plain version of the Constance belt. Like you all know like kind of how the hardware does get scratched up. So, I mean, that just is part of it, but it doesn't bother me, you know, and also like, it is mine, I wear it, so it would be weird if it didn't get scratches and stuff over time. So I think it's fine, but that's just me. It is not reversible, unfortunately. A lot of Hermes bracelets are reversible, but this one, like because of like the hook on the inside, you know, it's really just a one-sided bracelet. So you're not getting a 2-in-1, which is a little bit of a bummer, especially when you compare it, like for instance, to the like the Be Happy, where that one is a bit cheaper. Like it's in the $300 price range, and this one is in the $400 price range. So you are paying a bit more, but again, just something to keep in mind in terms of like if you think that's the way you want to spend your money or not. Now, in terms of the bracelet design here, you can see that I have it in the gold hardware version, and I really like it. And I like that it's got this like fun little loop here, but you need to keep in mind, this might feel annoying to you because it does flip up and down. So if you don't want any type of movement at all, I would say that this could potentially get on someone's nerves. I don't find it to be distracting or annoying, but you just might, so keep that in mind. And the only thing that I find, you know, I would say quite annoying about this bracelet, and it is a big one, is taking it off. This is a really hard bracelet to put on and off if you are by yourself. Now, if you have a partner or you've got kids or roommates or someone that's always around that can help you take this off, it is way easier. But I live by myself. So before I bought this bracelet, my SA was like, I need you to practice taking it on and off before you buy it. She's like, I want to make sure that you are okay with it, because it's quite difficult. Because you can see this is what the closure looks like. And so to open it, you see you kind of like wiggle it through here like that. But it's a lot harder to do it when putting it on and taking it off. Putting it on is pretty easy. I say taking it off is the doozy. So I'm actually gonna sit here and do it for you so you can see what it looks like. And this is someone who's had this bracelet, you know, since March. This is a while. So put it on, try and do it so that you can still see. Okay, so. There we go. Okay, so as we can see, getting it on, wasn't too bad, right? And when you're putting it on, you need to decide how you want the Hermes logo to read. Do you want it to be legible to you, or do you want it to be legible to everyone else? Now, generally speaking, when I wear it the opposite way. So I wear it so it's legible to everyone else, right? But I mean, who's looking that closely? I don't think it's that big of a deal, but just something to keep in mind. But now let's try and take it off, okay? Here's to hoping I just do it really quickly. It happens once in a blue moon, but you really have to like fiddle with it. And like, no joke, sometimes it has taken me quite some time to do it. Oh gosh, this is so embarrassing, but I said I would do it in front of you because I want you all to be able to see it. Oh, oh wait, it's coming, it's coming. There we go. Okay, so I would say that actually wasn't too bad. Sometimes it has taken me a lot more time to get it off, so keep it in mind, not a fiddly person. This might annoy you a little bit, but I'm sure a lot of you all are lucky to have loved ones at home that can help you take it on and off. Also, on the inside, when you get this bracelet, it does have a serial code here, so you know it's authentic, and it's got, you know, Hermes Paris, you know, stamped on the inside. So, you know, it's got all those little like luxe touches and feels. And also, when you buy it, I really like that it does come, you know, not just with like the box and the ribbon and all that, but it does also come with a really nice little velvet pouch. So you can store it in there if you'd like, or this is good for travel, you know, if you want to keep it nice and safe. I don't keep it in here. I just keep it with like the rest of my other, you know, bracelets and jewelry, but it's always good to have it. But overall, I have been really happy with this bracelet. I think it has worn really well so far, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to like continuing to wear and like seeing how it ages, and, you know, just having it as like a beloved piece in my collection. So really happy with it. I would love to know your thoughts on if you all have this bracelet, and also who else has had to struggle with getting this on and off, or is it just me? Am I just really like not talented at taking it on and off? I don't know, I could just be really inept. So let me know your thoughts about this bracelet down in the comments below. And also, if you have any other questions about it, pop those down in there too, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, I would love it if you could just give this video a little like. Just give it a little thumbs up down in the corner below. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? You need to subscribe to my channel, so that way you can get all my latest content about all things shopping delivered straight to you. Thanks again for watching. My name is Lily, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye everyone.